Hey besties, welcome back to another episode of the Baddie Besties podcast. I'm your host, Alyssa.
And I'm your co-host, Samira, aka Samski.
And today we have a special episode for you, red flags, green flags, and baddie boundaries.
I'm so excited about this because besties, for all my girlies here, you need to set the boundaries straight. You need to make sure you play no games with the girls, with the guys, with anybody at this point. So we're going to be recognizing green flags in friendships. And professional settings. We're really going to deep dive into everything from toxic relationships, toxic cycles, people that drain your energy. And baby, we're protecting our peace in 2025.
Period. Stay protecting your peace. So, Samski, let me ask you a question. Do you have any stories that come to mind? A little icebreaker for the girls? Anything that comes to mind of maybe a time that you ignored a red flag, or even when you seen green flag, and you took it on as such?
Ooh, that's a great question. Was there a time when there was a time when I ignored a red flag. There's a lot of friendships that we had when we were in college.
Ooh.
The girlies, we had a really big friend group, and I think obviously we all had different personalities.
Yeah.
But I think one girl in particular, and she would just what's the word? Her energy, she would just have bursts. She would burst and she was out.
Yeah, she was kind of, I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Her energy was kind of at any time, she may just snap on you or snap on someone you're around.
Yeah.
Which is kind of hard to be with because you never know.
And we would make excuses for that person. And there were times we would go out into different settings, whether it was the club or dinner, and there were times that she would snap on the people and she thought she was better than everyone that was around her.
Yeah.
And I'm babes, that's not the energy you should be. You should always be humble. She really just draw on her looks and she thought pretty privilege is a thing, but she was I'm so pretty. I just
to a new level.
Yeah.
Entitlement.
Yes. Entitlement. And I think that part, I think we all ignored the red flags because we're we're a girl group. We all want everyone to go out and have fun. But I just think that behavior wasn't acceptable.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Sometimes you can't make that many excuses for people.
Yeah. I just think it just becomes, we're enabling them.
Yeah.
So when she's not around us, she's going to continue to do that.
Yeah.
So we're not about to be enabling that behavior, especially now at our grown age. I'm not doing that with y'all. So.
Okay, that's a good example.
What about you?
A time I ignored a red flag. I feel like my brain immediately jumps to relationships.
That's good.
I guess one example.
Spill the tea.
Honestly, I got so much tea. I got too much tea. I got too much tea. But the first thing, I guess, one example of many would be, I think a red flag I saw. Someone that I was seeing in the past, he would always wear, he was always out with his friends, going out on a really regular basis, almost every weekend.
Yeah.
And it was they would go buy new outfits almost every time they went out. It was
a clout chaser?
I don't know if it was chasing clout, but it was just kind of
why
is that a red flag?
Yeah.
It's a red flag because they as a group were giving copy paste. Remember we talked about this before. Copy paste. And I just
we hate a copy paste, man.
And I kind of feel when men are too into their looks and going out, they're kind of, the ego is a little too high, and I just feel my man, he's still got to get cute, and he could be social, hang out with his friends, but on a regular basis, and this is your whole identity's wrapped around that. I think that was a red flag. I should have.
Yeah. And to be honest, you don't want to and excuse me if I'm wrong, it was kind of giving feminine energy.
She said it.
Why, who wants to date that though? Let's be honest. If we gonna say it, we gonna keep it a sack over here. That's on period.
Well, I will say.
You have to say what you did. You have to spill the tea.
Well, what I will say is I feel like my girls are the ones that go to the mall for a new outfit every week, you know, or whenever they're
ordering online. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like men that do that on a regular basis, like every week you need a new fit, like a new sneaker, a new chain, I'm like, that's a little too much for me.
Yeah. And I think it draws into that person's insecurity. It feels like wherever he goes or wherever, you know, he or she goes, that's like, I mean, for the girlies, I don't care.
Not for the girlies.
Not
we
for
gonna
the girlies.
need them fits.
I was about to say, not for the girlies, because if I'm pictured in that picture, in that photo and in that fit, you're not gonna see me in that again, or at least on the gram. Or
it's different for women.
Yeah, 100%. But for men, I think it's insecurity. Like there's something for them to prove why they're stunned. I mean, it's chasing clout, honey.
A lot of men validate their worth though from like money or like luxury items. Like that's how they feel they're worthy. It's not really about how they look, because they can't change how they actually look.
Yeah.
But it's what they can add on top of it. So
yeah, but every weekend.
That's what I'm saying. It's not even a little too much. It's a lot
and I hope. All right, let's move on. Another icebreaker question here really quickly. How boundaries will impact, you know, Liz is a self-love life coach here. So I want to know how boundaries will impact confidence, self-worth, and just your overall peace. And baby, I'm going to just say this first before she answers. Your boundaries, and when it comes to peace, though, at least, protect your peace at all costs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, exactly. Your boundaries do protect your peace. I think we are meant to have relationships, like with friends, with acquaintances, right? We have people that are super close to us and people that are like further away, but we still interact with. But you have to have boundaries to keep yourself safe and to like take care of yourself, because people without boundaries, people will take advantage of you. People will, you know, you'll give them an inch, they'll take a mile. So you need to just be really solid in yourself, your values, who you are, so that when anyone comes and kind of tries to go a little bit overboard, you're able to draw the line and communicate that appropriately.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like too, how boundaries will impact confidence. And maybe I can just speak for myself and just the women that are people pleasers. And this is something that I'm learning. Like I want everyone around me to be happy and pleased, but I'm learning that, and I think this has more to do with self-worth and confidence. It's okay to say no. And even to the people that are close to you, like you need to set those boundaries so you can protect your peace. And why say self-worth? Because obviously, yes, peace, but self-worth, because you need to respect yourself so much that you don't overextend yourself, because you can't be
best you.
The best you, but you can't be everything to everybody if you're not the best you, right?
Absolutely.
So it's like you really need to, like my people pleasers out there, and it's like, I know it's probably, I don't have the stat, but I know it's probably the tendencies for females to be, you know, make sure that everyone around them is good and straight. But like sometimes like you have to like choose yourself. Yeah. And not sometimes. Well, yeah.
You have to choose yourself, because
choose yourself.
There is just as much power in your no as there is your yes.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot of people, especially women, I really feel like we are, not even feel like I know, we are programmed as we grow up, be a good girl, you know, listen. We're even taught the domestic roles. Like we're pretty much taught that you fill everyone else's cup and that's supposed to make you happy. If you take care of everyone around you, be a good daughter, be a good sister, be a good wife, be a good girlfriend, cook, clean, and then do more and then do more, right? And that's supposed to make you happy. But it's like, no, what makes you happy is when your cup is full and you have your boundaries, and the people who are in your life don't have an issue respecting your boundaries because they respect you.
Yeah. 100%. I think, not I think, baby. We know. But I have seen though, just like the difference, like when I tell my little brothers, and shout out to Braylon, he doesn't listen to anybody but himself. But like, it's something that I'm learning. When I tell him no, maybe because he hasn't heard me say no, he doesn't really believe me when I say no. Like he'll be like, no, she'll still do it, or whatever the case may be. But now it's like, we need to stand strong, girlies. The besties out here, stand strong in your no and believe it and don't succumb. Because sometimes we say no and we still do it. And, you know, I can attest. I've done that before. So when you say no, like stand strong. And that just, it shows you like, I said what I said and I meant it, but I value what I said. And the words that are coming out of my mouth, like, people will mean it. Like, or they'll understand and be like, yeah, this girl is serious.
Yeah. And that's how other people learn to value you too. Because if you constantly, it's one thing, for this to be your little brother, right? But if this is like your boyfriend, if this is a friend, if this
Great
is
example,
like just someone else in
your husband,
your husband, right? Someone who's an adult who like, a kid is a kid, but an adult especially like should be able to receive your boundaries and be able to respect them. And I definitely think that we teach people, and we show them that we value ourselves, we love ourselves. This is the line that I, keep for myself. So I'm not going to go below that line for you.
I mean, even in a professional setting, right? Like if I said I can't only work at 5:00, but they're trying to send me messages or something to do at 5:30, like these are boundaries that you set. So this can be applied anywhere, right? Your boundaries, it shows you how, and others, how to value you, right? Because if I sit here and I told you I got to be out at 5 and you send me something at 5:30, that means you don't really respect what I told you.
Exactly.
And baby, you gonna respect me. When I said I'm out at 5, I'm out, honey.
I'm out. Bye.
I'm out. But let's get into this first segment here. Red flags, the signs you should not ignore, besties.
Wait, babes. Can I rewind?
Yes, rewind.
Okay. I just wanted to quickly discuss walls versus boundaries, just so the girlies know.
Okay, sure.
Really, really fast, because I feel like this is important. Some girlies put up walls and some girlies put up boundaries. A wall, just to be clear, you guys, is when you block everything out. So for example, a quick example for the besties. Say you've been hurt by girlies before, other friends, or your sister or something like that, and you put up walls against women. Now that you have this wall up, you can't even let in any other potential friends that could be really great for you. Yeah. Right? That's a difference between that, or a boundary would be like, boundaries that you have with your girlfriends, or, maybe you just take your time getting to know different girls. But I just wanted to talk about the difference quick between walls and boundaries so that the girlies who are listening, the A1 day ones, don't be having walls. All right. Just to be clear, there's a difference between, but we can move on.
Okay, so we're going to get into red flags and the signs you shouldn't ignore, especially when it comes to friendships. Okay. So friends who only hit you up when they need something. So
that's a red flag.
It's a red flag, but it also shows like, this person, clearly they're just trying to use. And like, that's also something that you got to evaluate with yourself. Are you giving too much? Oh. Are you giving too much where they feel like you could be used too?
Oh, okay. That's interesting. I definitely think it's a red flag if someone only calls you when they like need to vent about something, or they're upset. You should obviously be able to have girlfriends that you can call, but they should be able to call you too.
Exactly. It should be reciprocal. But I feel like if somebody feels like they could keep calling you and that you're always going to give, that's something you have to sit down with yourself and be like, okay, like I keep giving, and like maybe you don't feel comfortable to ask that person. So it's like you have to be like, okay. And I think this maybe goes with self-worth again too. Like you can't just keep giving and giving and then just like you have nobody to help on that reciprocal end.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to value yourself and just like, this is all about like boundaries, like know when to say no. And obviously, it's a red flag. Like maybe that's not a friend that you need, or maybe it's like a friend for a season or a different aspect of your life. Maybe it's like a networking friend. There's somebody at work that keeps hitting you up saying, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? But when you hit her up, nowhere to be found. So you got to know all this.
That's true. Here's another red flag you should look out for in friendships. Competition disguised as support. When it feels like a constant comparison game. I know you felt it before, Samira. Have you?
Yeah, I've competition disguised as support. Honestly, I don't think I felt that. Competition
disguised as support.
No, because the person would have to show like they're constantly supporting.
Have you ever had a friendship that felt like that was your girl, and then all of a sudden there was like there's this underlying like weird energy, even though like y'all are besties?
Yes, but I think the biggest thing here, though, personally, it goes competition disguised as support when it feels like a constant comparison game. Personally, I'm running my own race, so no one could ever compete with me.
But do you ever think that someone tries like in her head, she's kind of like this weird energy. Obviously, in your head, you're like, this ain't a race.
They think. I don't know.
You don't think you've ever had.
I don't know necessarily the competition, and maybe it's just because my mindset. I'm very strict in my ways. Maybe in theirs, but obviously I can't. I'm not a mind reader. I won't know that's their energy. But I'm like, personally, it's really hard. I'm like, how are you gonna? We in different lanes, baby.
Yeah.
I just.
So you've never sensed it before, and you're always kind of like focused on yourself too. So you're like, maybe it's been around, but you've never picked up that.
What I potentially could say I picked up is fake supporters. And like, I have friends, I'm like, okay, you not showing love. And obviously, I know we all could speak to this. It be your real day one, A1s that won't give you the like, that won't give you the share, that won't give you a follow, even though it's free, honey. Like, and we have, starting Baddie Besties, we have seen a lot of the fake supporters and a lot of the late bandwagoners. Everything is noted, honey.
Ooh! She let y'all know.
Everything is noted. I see you.
I
see you. And the thing is, I don't feel no type of way about it because in myself, we are so secure in what we're doing and the message that we're sharing with the world. You want to hop on the bandwagon late? That's fine. But baby,
I know you wasn't here in the beginning. Clock that.
Clock that T.
Hey.
All right, I think I'll have to end it there because I was too cute.
That was cute.
All right, what are the red flags in romantic relationships? And one of them are, love bombing.
Love bombing.
Inconsistency and just having emotional unavailability.
Okay. Love bombing is so interesting because love bombing is essentially when certain people come, like a guy comes to talk to you or whatever, or maybe you're like kind of dating him or you're seeing him for a bit, and he's just giving you all the love. Like he's doing, it's like, it feels so perfect. He's saying all the right things. He's doing all the right things. He may even be dropping the I love you with the quickness. That's kind of a red flag because usually men that love bomb early on for a while, at some point, once they see you're attached, they pull back.
I think that's where the inconsistency comes in place because I feel like, let's say if they are a true love bomber, but that's just who they are, right? So I'm like just playing devil's advocate here. Like they just want to love and like they have that energy.
Then they don't pull back.
Exactly. So there's not that. It's the consistency. So that means that's exactly who they are and they feel that energy for you. But the love bombing part where you'll see is they pull back.
They pull back. That's how you know. Because you be feeling like, oh, he's perfect. He's the one.
My man.
That's my man. He loved me. He's obsessed with me. And then all of a sudden, he's not obsessed anymore. It's like, what happened? And then he comes and he breadcrumbs, right? Like, I think a secure man, like a healthy, secure man, typically doesn't love bomb right away. Like, obviously, your husband might come in and he love bombs you. He knows you're the one right away, right? But generally speaking, I feel like secure men, they kind of let it evolve naturally, like in a healthy way. And it kind of just like, rises up.
I know they say Haitian men are really good for doing this. So they say they love to love bomb. So
drop a Haitian flag if you're a Haitian love bomber.
They say Haitian men love to. They say they'll have a whole other family. That's what they say out here in the streets, child. I ain't confirming nothing, but they say they'll have a whole another family, and then they'll go and find another girl, and they'll be in love with you after the first date, honey.
In love.
Oh Lord. I don't want no parts, honey. No. But I think another thing to deep dive in this is emotional unavailability, right? So I think if that person is not ready to give you that as well, I think that's a really major red flag too, because my thing is, don't put yourself in a situation to be in a relationship if you cannot give that person. And mind you can give in a lot of different aspects, but this one part is really important. Yeah. As a female or, in the relationship, I'm going to need that person to deliver emotionally too.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I think emotional unavailability is a big one, especially for men, because I'm not even going to make excuses. I'm not even going to get into, Let her know. We weren't taught to feel our emotions. I get it, whatever. Yeah. But if we're grown, we're grown. Like she said, don't get into something if you're not emotionally ready. Don't cap to her in the beginning and then withdraw because now you're scared. Now you don't want to give your emotions. I don't even want to hear it, bro. Leave the girl in peace.
She said it perfectly. We're going to go into, for all the corporate baddies, we're going to talk about the red flags to, you need to make sure you're passing, okay, in business and in work and in the corporate world. And the first one is feeling undervalued, overworked, and disrespected. And one thing too, if the pay don't change, child, The pay don't change, and they keep giving you more task and more task and more tasks. That's not in the job description, honey.
That's a red flag.
That's a red flag. Baby, we do not do more work and not have the pay match.
I agree. Clock that T. Yeah. Y'all need to start bucking up. Buck up.
And that's a lot of corporations and just like corporate America. They love, like, you'll start your job and it's all merry. You know, you have the onboarding, the training, and then you got your daily tasks, and they're like, okay. They're like, yeah, she can handle this. She's getting it done at a fast pace. Baby, if they told you it's due on Friday, don't get it done by Wednesday. If it's due Friday at 12, you get it to them Friday at 12. Don't make it seem like you can get work done extra, because one thing about corporate, you know, the minute they see that, they know how to use you. They're like, more work for less money? I don't even need to pay her.
Period. Give it to her. She gonna stay till 7 instead of 5. Give it to her.
Yep. Baby, we're setting these boundaries. Yep.
Be smart.
Like, that is not in my job scope, or I don't have the bandwidth to do this right now. Can X, Y, and Z do it? Yeah, baby, we're speaking up for ourselves.
You got to, because these jobs, they don't care about you the way you think they do. They'll switch up with the quickness,
and they're quick to find somebody else to replace you, honey. So there is no loyalty to any of these jobs unless it's your own business, honey. You show up for you. But these corporations, if you could, and I hate to say it, you could drop dead tomorrow. They will find that's a great example. The United Healthcare CEO that got shot. The next day, there was a job description for the CEO position for United Healthcare. So it's 100% example. But baby, you could be at the top CEO. They will find somebody else to replace you. Yeah. So don't kill yourself for no job.
Yeah, you heard it here. How about, when do you think, Samira, when is it the right time to walk away from an opportunity that doesn't align with your worth?
Ooh, that's a good question. Honestly, in terms of worth, and I think this is a really big, important question just in general, if the opportunity is like paying your bills and it's like you need it to support your lifestyle and just this is your source of income, I'm not saying to walk away when you have no other alternative. Yeah. I think that's important. If you don't have something else lined up, babes, you can notice it doesn't align your worth or even your values, but you're like, you know what? I can't walk away from this, because then you're going to be out on your ass, just being honest. And I don't want any of the besties out here like, yes, we're all for like, you know, fuck these jobs and like, you know, don't kill yourself for these jobs, but don't walk away from a situation if you're not prepared to.
Yeah, so. I agree. But I will say, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it from the girls who are complaining about the job, but they're not trying to find opportunity somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's one thing if you tried and you didn't hear back. Then, all right, you put in your work. But I don't want to hear the whole victim, woe me, my job this, my job that, but you've been there the last 3 years, 3 years, 2 years, 4 years, 5, whatever it is. You've been there for a minute, okay? And you haven't applied to nothing. You applied for a week and then you stopped and you've been complaining ever since. I don't want to hear it, because you got to create opportunity for yourself. You got to pave a path. If you don't like where you are and it's not a good place for you, like, you got to put the work in to try to, you know, finagle and put yourself in a different position. It may take some time, so be it if that's the case, but you got to put in the work.
I 100% agree with that. You can't expect, and they say this is a great example, right? You can't ask God for an A on the test and you didn't study, right? Like, you could pray, you could study, and you ask God for that help, and you can have the faith to go ahead and ace the test, but God not about to give you an A and you didn't take 1 minute to study for the test, baby.
No, don't work like that.
It does not work like that. Put the work in. If you know your worth and you know your value and the job is not showing you that, you can go ahead while you're working. Apply to 10 jobs a day. Put, write an agenda or write a goal sheet of what you see for yourself. We're really big on like writing our goals, manifesting. Yes. Like, it may not happen tomorrow, but if you're putting the work and your actions, you're putting actions behind these goals, you're 100% going to reap all the benefits. You got to be patient though.
Yeah. God will always meet you halfway.
Yeah.
But halfway.
Yeah.
Do your half.
100%.
Right. Moving on. Let's talk about some green flags?
Green flags. Waving the green flag.
A few. Okay. Here is a friendship green flag.
But what healthy relationships look like.
Yeah. Healthy friendships. So y'all know the difference. Reciprocal energy.
Oh my gosh, wait, before you even say that, this first one,
okay,
I feel like this is genuinely Liz, is like friends who genuinely celebrate your wins. Like, and I think that's like her to a T. I feel like she's such a great, and all friends should be like this though, but that says a lot, right? Like not a lot of friends. So, I do think so. Not a lot of friends will sit here and like genuinely celebrate your win like it's their own. And I feel like your excitement and just like how she feels like when she sees anyone around her win, like it feels like it's your win too.
I'm
like
really happy.
Yeah, like you're genuinely happy for the person. I think that energy, it's definitely felt on the reciprocal side of things. So I just wanted to tell you that.
That's cute. I love you, bestie. I'm so proud of my girl. She's always doing so many amazing things. So I'd be like,
no, and vice versa. Vice versa. I think just it's an amazing thing to see. And if you don't have a friend like that, baby, you're gonna have to get you one, because these friends they ain't doing you justice, baby.
It's important, I think. Genuine joy for your friends winning is important.
Yeah.
Yeah. And hate for your friends winning is a no-go, red flag.
Yeah. We don't want no hater energy.
That's not real friend energy.
Or even a friend that be like, you know, kind of casting doubts a little bit in your mind. Like that'd be casting doubts. It's like, it's already hard enough in this world trying to do anything. You don't want friends that are a Debbie Downer, that don't make you feel less than when you're already competing with this hard world, already trying to, you know, whether it's your business, whether it's maybe content creation, maybe it's going to school. You don't need anybody to cast doubts in your mind. It's already hard enough as it is.
Absolutely. I agree. How about reciprocal energy, like giving and receiving without score? I think that's super important too, because this takes us back to earlier when we were talking about competition with friends, right? I definitely feel like if it feels like a competition at all, if there's even a scoreboard, like why is there a scoreboard? There should never be a scoreboard.
If we're keeping score, you're not my friend. Because one thing, I don't even like to, I'm not even going to say hate, but I highly detest somebody that can throw things in my face. Because if you're keeping score, you're like, yeah, I did this for you, I did this. I
hate that.
Then why are we shouldn't be friends.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be friends. Because if you feel the need to throw something in my face, you feel like, one thing too, like I give, and when I give 100%, 110%. And I'm not saying, the crazy part about it is I'm not even saying for you to meet me at that 110, right? Like I don't even need that. But obviously meet me somewhere, but like I can't have somebody, oh, I did this for you, I did that for you.
Yeah. I don't like that either. Oh my God, I just got a memory.
Really? What?
I got a memory of somebody who said that to me in text message and like got all upset and was like, oh, I did this, or I told them no about something. I told them a no, and then they got so mad and they were like, oh, I always do stuff for you, or I would do it for you, or whatever. And then I asked them though, what do you do for me? And they couldn't tell me nothing. They couldn't tell me anything. So I was like, your argument don't even make sense. But anyway, it just took me back to this memory. And I was like, that was so stupid. Anyways.
LOL. All right, we're just going to list the green flags to romantic relationships just really quickly. So like clear and open communication and emotional safety. We love a man that's going to make you feel safe.
Supportive partners who encourage your growth. Like cheer your girl on, please.
And I just shout out to my man because he will go above and beyond. He'll go to make the world meet the end, or make the ends. What do they say?
He'll meet the ends of the world.
He'll meet the ends of the world to help whatever dream I have come true. So I just have to give him a shout out for that, because it's so important to have somebody that like not only helps you and encourages your growth, but believes in your mission, believes in your business, believes in what you're doing. Because
for sure,
yeah.
Oh my gosh, lack of belief.
Oh Lord. But lack of belief is one, that's a turnoff, baby.
Especially from your man.
Yeah, like,
what you mean you don't believe? Like, I'm gonna show you, but now I'm like, I don't even want to fuck with you no more. Why don't you? You clearly don't know me.
Yeah,
you clearly don't know me.
We can't be having that. It's giving tomatoes throwing tomatoes at you. Okay, mutual effort. When they want you, they show you.
Oh,
that's
we
period.
Like that.
We need that energy, baby. Because one thing about a man, though, there's no doubt that you'll have in your mind if they want you.
Yes,
you won't have a single ounce of doubt.
Yeah, that's how it should be. If you question it, you need to be focused on yourself instead. Okay. Respect for your time, energy, and emotions.
Period. Clock that T. And lastly, consistency. We need a consistent man that's going to show up, show out all the time. Not Monday, Tuesday. We need a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday man. Okay?
Repeat.
Okay.
No breaks.
Every single day of the week, honey.
He loves
365, baby.
Yep.
All the above,
year after
honey.
year.
If he ain't showing up for you, baby, you better walk that walk.
Show it for yourself, Mookie.
All right. And quickly, green flags with work and business. So companies and clients that respect your boundaries, right? If I got to be out at 5, you out at 5. They respect you, baby. Very demure.
Very mindful, okay? Workplaces that encourage personal growth and self-care.
Exactly. We love a mental health day.
Love it.
Love it. Love it for you, bestie.
Yeah.
Take that day, babes. You don't feel it. You don't got it for them. Take the day. But let's go into baddie boundaries here. How to protect your energy, besties, because, baby, this piece
important
and priceless. You can't pay me enough money for this piece, honey.
You need peace to prosper.
Exactly.
You see?
All right. So, protecting your energy.
How to set clear boundaries without guilt.
Oof.
How do you set clear boundaries without guilt? Honestly, for me, I'm going to keep it a stack. I don't have much problems with saying no. Like, my brother's always telling me, why are you telling me no? Why are you telling me no? I'm like, I don't really, I understand the power of my no. I'm going to tell you no. If it's a no, if it's a yes, it's a yes. So I think for my girlies out there.
Yeah, maybe this one's for me because I feel like I get guilt, especially for my family. Like, I'm not one to say no for my family because they show up for me 1,000,000%. Like, and even not just for me, even like my partner, I just see how much like they'll go above and beyond for them. Shout out to my family. Like, wherever, you know, wherever Terrell plays football, like they'll drive, they'll fly, like they go above and beyond. So it's like, I want to never have them feel like I won't do the same for them. So like I'll have that guilt when I say no, or I'll try. At least for me, the biggest thing is if you have that guilt, or even if you set clear boundaries, maybe in a sense, like maybe they're asking you to do something, I think you could find a different alternative to as well. Like if it comes to family or friends, like maybe you can't physically do something, but maybe you could give them alternatives. So that way you're not like, hey, I'm leaving you high and dry, but like, here's something X, Y, and Z that you can do. So I'm all about like trying to be solution oriented as well. Like if I can't physically do it, but there's maybe you could Uber and do this or whatever it is to come up with.
Yeah. I think effective communication and a solution is the best thing.
Yeah.
I would say, just to give like a direct answer on how to set clear boundaries, I would say start with how you feel, like from an I perspective, like I feel X, Y, and Z about this situation, right? And kind of instead of saying like you did this or you did that or point fingers or like have this whole fight for no reason, just come from how you feel and why you feel like this is the boundary you need to set or why you can't do something for them, and then propose, like you said, propose a solution, an alternative. Maybe you can help them with this, it just can't be today because you're busy doing other stuff or whatever the case may be, right? Try not to, like you said, leave them high and dry.
I think too, like, you don't need to over explain yourself as well, right? Like sometimes there's like, if there's power in your no and you said no, like you don't need to over explain. But again, like you can come up with a solution. There's different things. So you're like, okay, I'm not leaving them to figure it out. But I feel like too, like you don't need to like over explain yourself to people. If you feel that way and you feel that in your heart, baby, you said what you said.
Period. I agree with that too.
All right. How to actually enforce them, because saying no isn't enough if you don't stick to it. How to actually
enforce them.
You know?
How to stick to what you said.
That could
be
a good
hard.
one. That's a good one.
That one's hard. I feel like that honestly can be
hard. Yeah.
It's like can be just like willpower. Like it's like self-love and willpower combined, I think, because sometimes you really want to help or you really want to be there for that person or whatever. But at the end of the day, you need to hold this standard that you put up because or else it's going to hurt you. And sometimes you really want to do something for somebody, but you have to just be like, all right, I'm not going to because I care about myself and I just have to choose me in this moment.
I think this comes with time. You're not going to get this right away. And I think this is something that's like, you'll learn this. Honestly, it may even take years. And I think just be patient with yourself. Honestly, it's a hard thing, and that's something I'm still learning.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. All right. What to say when people test your boundaries?
Ooh.
It also depends who it is, baby.
It does. I just be letting people know. I'm very direct. I've always been a direct, blunt person, so it's hard for me to see outside of the way that I naturally communicate. How about you? Like, I'll just tell you.
I don't know. This is also a tough one for me.
Really though, because I feel like Samira is spicy. I feel like she will just tell you too.
I will, but it also depends who it is. Yeah, like I'm not a random person on the street that maybe like was too much. Well, obviously if they were too much in my personal space, I'd be like, can you move? Or,
I feel like random people you will tell, and people you're really close with you will tell. Maybe it's the in between, the people that like aren't your top 5 or top 10 like close everyday people. Those people, I think you'll just say what you need to say. And I think strangers, too, you don't really care. You'll tell them what you need to tell them.
Okay.
But the in-between people, like maybe when we think back to college, like acquaintances and stuff, I think you just, maybe the Libra and you think about it. Like, how do I?
That's fair, because I'm like, do I even want to try to start something? I'm like, why? I don't even care for this person enough to even like address the situation. That's true.
Yeah.
You see, she knows me best. This is the baddie bestie. She knows me better than myself.
Yep, I know my best friend. Okay.
We're gonna move forward really quickly on maybe 2 examples of how you could some baddie boundaries, because there's a lot of people out here, and this is for my girlies that are in relationships, and they're with a manipulator.
Ooh.
And it could be a relationship, it could be family, but let's think of the instance of maybe a man that you were with, right? Because there's a lot of narcissists out here and there's a lot of men. So your man says, if you really cared about me, you'd make time to do this.
Okay.
So what are your boundaries, or what are your response to that if you know a man's being manipulative to our besties?
I think that's a manipulator energy, because it's like you can still care about someone and need to do something that you need to do for yourself.
And it could be like important to you.
Yeah. And it's like, I'm not going to put you over me. Like, I'm not, you shouldn't put someone over. You should be able to find, your balance and make sure that you're taking care of both of y'all. And he's doing the same.
And a man that loves you, he would not make you choose him over yourself.
No, he wouldn't.
No. And I don't want him. I don't want a man that's going to make me choose him over me.
Yeah.
Nah, baby, I need to go to that massage. I can't do that for you today.
Yeah.
I can't.
You got to go. I agree. Yeah. If you really cared about you, make time. No. I do care about you. I will make time, just not right now. This is my time. Yeah. Got stuff to do.
That's on period.
Love you. Mean it.
All right. Give them one more example.
Ooh. Okay. This is a good one. This is kind of like a friend situation when a friend says, I guess I just won't bother you anymore since you're so busy. Like, I just won't bother you.
They're playing the victim.
They are playing the victim.
Oh, my goodness. Yes. I cannot stand a victim player. You owe me a soda, but you actually already owe me a matcha, so.
I do owe her a matcha.
Honestly, I'm sorry. I cannot deal with a friend like that. And I think, too, when you do try to explain to somebody that's playing victim, I feel like they fall into that victim card even more.
I hate that.
So sometimes I feel like I'm talking to
a brick wall. Yeah, because they don't want to hear it.
I'm just like, I'm going to have to just leave you on red, and then I'm going to come back another time. Because genuinely, I'm not about to waste my energy or exert all this energy. Like, I love you. And like, you could love that person that's playing victim. But right now, you're not hearing me. And if you're going to keep beating a dead horse, baby, I'm going to leave you there.
Yeah. I think you can never convince a victim not to play victim. If they're going to play victim, there's nothing that you can say or do that's going to make them not act like the victim. So you just leave it there and you leave them to themselves and you go about your business.
They're in their actress bag, honey.
They are.
They're trying to get a
Grammy.
They're trying to get a Grammy, Oscar.
Oscar.
They're doing their best, honey, to get that Oscar. And baby, today, I'm going to let them have their reward, but not on my dime, honey. Not on my time, not on my dime.
I'm going to be applauding the performance.
To protect my peace.
From afar.
Yep.
Thank you. Next.
Period. And honestly, besties, it's important to really, like, when you notice these green or red flags, like, if it's a green flag, like, like today, like I took the time to like just let Alyssa know like that she's a good friend and like she has, you know, she's a green flag friend and there's stuff like it's okay to like take a moment and like acknowledge that person. Like it'll make them feel good. And the red flags too, like you can do the same. And I'm not saying be confrontational and go bop, bop, bop today, but like let them bop, bop. let the person know. So let's get into a quick rapid fire.
All right. Red flag or green flag? They cancel plans last minute, but reschedule immediately.
Amazing. And most likely it's definitely a green flag, but amazing. Most likely I wanted to cancel too. So I'm
that far.
We're both happy.
Thank you. See you next Thursday. Or whatever.
Yeah.
24, 48 hour notice.
Yeah. They say I'm just brutally honest, but their honesty feels more like criticism.
Red flag. I cannot stand this. I cannot stand a person who gives criticism, or not gives criticism, a person who's like an ass and they're acting a type of way and then they just want to frame it as something else. I'm like, just because you calling it something else doesn't mean it's not what it actually is. I can't stand that. That's a red flag for sure.
A humongous red flag. Honestly, I'm not saying I'm really good at receiving constructive criticism. That's probably just being a product of the corporate world. They love to do feedback, goals. So I'm very open to it. But I think when it's in a place where they're like, oh, I'm just like being honest, or like they're trying to come like they're coming from like, or the way they frame it is that they're coming from like a genuine place, but really like it be your boss, really he taking notes, like he being sneaky in the back, he's gonna use this against me whether I should get a bonus or not. I'm like, oh hell nah. Like I cannot stand that. I cannot stand that. No,
I agree. I second that.
You a red flag.
Okay,
you set a boundary and they respond with wow.
Red flag or green flag?
Which one? I'm brutally honest.
Yeah, so that's a red flag.
Yes, we said that. You said that already.
Yeah, so I just wanted you to say red flag, green flag before this one.
You say it after you say the word.
Okay. Yeah,
you set a boundary and they respond with, wow, you've changed.
Oh.
That's a red flag.
That's
a red flag.
Wow, you've changed. I have changed. I'm growing. I'm evolving. I'm thriving. I'm changing. Are you changing? You don't have to, but
maybe it's a choice of words. Like it's okay for someone to notice that you've evolved,
but wow, you've changed.
It's like that's shady. Yeah. You a red flag.
That's shady.
You're mad shady. Like, okay, I've changed, so what? Like, why are you still the same person that you were last year? Like, baby, I'm trying to get 1% better every single day. Like, I should be different. But I think it's a choice of words. Like,
I agree.
Definitely.
I agree. So that was a red flag.
100%.
Red flag or green flag? They check in on you randomly, not just when they need something.
Randomly. Duh. Green flag. We love a green flag.
Obvious.
I feel like the green flags are like, duh. Okay. Lastly, red flag, green flag. They apologize, but their actions don't change. Oh,
red flag.
But I felt that one in my soul.
I felt it too.
That's a red flag, honey. And this is for all the besties out here because, the men are good for it.
They are good for it.
They're good for it. They love to be like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that again. And then they do it again.
They sure do.
Nah, honey. That's why if you say you're going to walk away, you walk away and you stand your ground. Because if you come back, baby, they know they could play with you.
That part. Ooh. Clock that tea.
Clock that tea. But besties, thank you so much for joining us today. You know we may stir the pot.
It's going to get hot.
But trust.
You just hit the jackpot. Okay. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe. You know where to find us.
Love you guys.
Love you. Bye.